Hi, my name is Adam and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the importance of the word no and embracing your no. So if you find yourself in a lot of situations where you're kind of doing things that you don't really want to do because you can't resist them or say that you don't want to, or you find yourself feeling drained, tired, resentful because you can't just set that boundary, then you're definitely going to want to watch this video because I'm going to be talking about the importance of saying no, what happens when we don't, and how you can start to practice this so that you can create the space, container, and boundaries that you need to make informed, aligned choices for your highest good. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I work with a lot of different kinds of clients, and I find that one of the most common difficulties that so many people have, especially those that are very caring and want to be of service and help people, is they don't really know how to say no. And one of the reasons for this is we weren't really allowed to as children. A lot of times we were forced to do things we didn't want to do. We wanted people to like us. We wanted people to appreciate us. Or we wanted to just be helpful. But as a result, we put other people's needs in front of ours and sacrificed our own inner sovereignty and integrity. Now, this is a really important thing to remember. If you can't say no, if you can't say no with conviction, you can't say yes. And what this means is if you're always saying yes, there's no power in your yes because there's no choice. You're not choosing yes. You're just saying yes because you don't know what else to do, and you always say yes. Do you want to go to the party? Yeah, sure. Can you help me move? Sure. I need you to come watch the kids. Sure. Okay. You don't really want to. It's not best for you. You're not rested, but you just do it anyway. And it gets to the point where people do it and they don't even know why. Now, is this you? Do you relate to this? Do you relate to feeling guilty about saying no because you're going to, let people down, or you think it's selfish? It's not selfish to say no. We have to take care of ourselves first. If we don't have energy for ourselves, we don't have energy for anybody else whatsoever. Now, if you're completely, narcissistic and self-centered and you never do anything for anyone else, then that's a different story. Most people aren't really like that, though. So if you can't say no, you can't say yes. If you can't say fuck you on some level, you can't say I love you. What I'm talking about here is setting boundaries, creating a container for your own energy. You can say I love you in a cosmic we're all one sort of way, but not in a human way, because your energy is not protected. You do not have your own space. You can't keep people out of it, and you can't, cut people out of your life when they're not good for you. And then, therefore, you can't really say I love you because there's no support in your body or your energy field for your heart. There's no protection. And so the thing just gets trampled on and walked all over. When you start to say no, you come into alignment. When you start to say no and you're able to say no, you can cut people out of your life that no longer belong there. And when you're doing that, it's an act of self-love. And we've all heard, if you can't love yourself, you can't really love other people. That's not 100% true, but it's true enough. Now, what happens when you don't say no? Essentially, you become a doormat, right? You just do whatever anybody wants you to do. You become a doormat for your boss, for your partner, for your kids. You end up feeling drained, exhausted. And one of the big consequences of not being able to say no is you lose yourself entirely. You don't even know what you want. You don't know who you are because you're so filled with everyone else's choices, desires, cords, attachments, commands of you. You don't know what's yours and what's theirs because you haven't said no to anything. You're not creating a space for your own self and your own energy to even understand what it is that you want. You lose touch with your desires. And a lot of people who can't say no end up stuck in jobs that they hate, relationships that they hate, and they have no idea where to go. When you start to say no, you start to kind of chip away at some of these cords, some of these external programs, these pullings in these different directions that don't serve you. And as you create this space and you clear these layers away and you give yourself permission to not go somewhere and recover your energy and get more in touch with your own body and your own self, you become more clear on what it is that you truly want. Personally, I've had many issues saying no in my life. Always felt very obligated to do things for other people anytime they would ask, regardless of how much it drained me. I'm going to tell a quick story of a time where this really came to head for me. Just working a job for a couple years, and it was insanely stressful and it was beneficial in many ways, but I had a very narcissistic boss, and it was incredibly draining, like deeply draining my nervous system. And something happened. I'm not going to go too much into it right now because it would take too long. I was very unjustly kind of thrown under the bus, and it was very abusive. Incredibly unfair. And I should have, there's really no should, but it was time for me to walk away. It was time for me to leave with what happened. But I didn't. Because I just couldn't say no. Part of it was because I was comfortable in the job and I was really burnt out and I didn't trust that if I walked away, I would find something better. But one of the reasons I couldn't trust to begin with was because I couldn't say no. It's the same kind of thing. Like that inability to set a boundary and stand up for yourself is also what drains your energy and the conviction and the will that allows you to trust and believe and move forward in the direction of what you want and know that it's going to work out. So I couldn't say no. I couldn't leave. And I stayed for another 1.5 years. And my health deteriorated more and more and more. I got drained more and more and more. Things just got worse. And it took much longer after I extricated myself from the job to heal. So here's 3 things you can do to start practicing no. 1, I would suggest just writing out or journaling about all of the situations or decisions you can think of where you're saying yes when you don't want to. And write out how it makes you feel. It's probably going to make you feel angry, resentful, tired, drained, guilty. And one of the most important things anytime you're writing anything out is to use feeling statements because it connects you to your emotions in your body. So like, I'm angry that I said yes to this because. I feel guilty because. I'm ashamed that. Statements like that. The second thing you can do is just start practicing saying no. Find something small. Maybe it's just someone wants to go to a movie that it's going to be okay if you tell them you can't. It's not that big of a deal and you don't really feel like it. And just consciously be like, you know what, I'm going to say no because I don't feel like it. I'm too tired. No, just practicing little things. Most people have such a hard time saying no that when you start practicing this, you kind of can't really go wrong because it's going to help no matter what. Just start saying no before you even know what a person's going to say. They'll just be like, hey, do you want to go to? No, I don't. Hey, how much did that cost? No, it costs no. Can you maybe, no, just walk up to people on the street you've never even seen before and just get in their face and just be like, no, no, no. Just practice as much as you can. I'm kidding, but not entirely. The third thing you can do is, this is an exercise to do with your nervous system. So you do a little bit of deep breathing. There's a couple. I have a video, a self-regulation exercise video, where you can release the vagus nerve a little bit and start to feel your body. Like, start to sense into your body, feel into your sensations a little bit. Relax. Just kind of notice your feet, notice your hands. Come into a little bit of a meditative state, and ask yourself before you make a decision, whether it's to go somewhere, spend time with someone. Is this right for me? And listen to your gut, your solar plexus. And it takes a little bit of practice, but if you get a really strong like resistance, that's a no. And that's telling you it's not right for you. Check in. And if you keep getting the no, listen to it. If you keep getting a yes, then listen to it too. But there's nothing wrong with saying no. It's not self-centered to say no. It's necessary. So you feel into your body and start practicing. Now, at first, the no can be difficult. It kind of requires sometimes some anger, like the proper use of anger, which is setting a boundary, kind of pushing out with your body and your energy field, just creating a space, a container for yourself. And you have to push over top of like guilt and shame and fear. But over time, as you acknowledge the fear, acknowledge the guilt, and acknowledge the shame and start to work with it, the no will get softer and stronger and more solidified. And you'll get to the point where you can just say it generally, peacefully. You know, someone will be like, you want to go to the party next weekend? You just be like, no. Right? Can you help me move? And you feel into your body and you're like, I'm really exhausted. I've been working all week. If I do this, it's going to drain me. And you'll feel the alignment to like what's best for you. And your answer will be no. You know, and this applies to the fuck you too. You know, someone's been cheating on you repeatedly 3 times and they're like, please give me another chance. And you're just like, fuck you. And you don't have to literally say fuck you, but you have to be able to have that, you know, to create the space for yourself. So one trick that I'd like to kind of end this video with is, if you're not sure about making a decision and whether it's right for you or not, give yourself permission to say no first. Just be like, I do this all the time. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go this weekend. I don't feel very good. Like, I don't want to go. I'm just not. And I just kind of go into like, no, forget it. No, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. And I stop and I wait for a little bit. And I feel my nervous system calm down. I feel myself relax, and I feel myself in a more safe, allowing space because I gave myself permission for that. And sometimes the answer's still no, and then sometimes it's like, oh, actually, I could do this, and I want to. But then, like I said, your yes comes from your free will and your power of choice. So let me know how this goes. Please feel free to comment, like and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to next time.